And you, what places and people are you learning from and studying at this moment in
Mm,
time?
right now.
Yeah, you sent through some links for particular sites and stuff.
Yeah,
And
so
you know,
good.
I've pretty much seen a lot of sites, and a lot of those sites that you sent through completely new to me.
Oh,
Re
fantastic. I'm
and
so happy to
really,
hear that.
really interesting,
Yeah.
for learning guitar and everything. So, and of
Well,
course, we'll put them up on the interview when the interview is posted. But if
yeah.
you'd like to
Well,
tell us a bit about those,
yeah.
please.
I'm happy to hear that. I was trying to really dig in and give you guys like, you know, I mean, I would have killed for that list. I would have killed to have that list. So I was trying to put something together that would give you guys the edge, you know, to give all your listeners the edge. I mean, Rob Knopper and all this deliberate practice stuff. I'm deep into and teaching. I'm one of the things and I know and any people who are teachers in your community know, like the best way to learn something is to teach it. So
Mm,
now I'm starting to teach deliberate practice. I'm doing just webinars. If people get on my mailing list, they'll hear about them, where I just teach like what I'm learning as I go. Also because I want guitar players to have more of this,
mm.
because I want them not to struggle so much, and I want them to make progress faster and more and better. I want them to be better players. So Rob Knopper's one, Jason Haheim. I've studied with him, and I certainly read everything. He has a tremendous blog.
Mm.
It's so awesome, and he's doing sort of one-off boot camps on deliberate practice, which I highly recommend people do. He has one coming up in February. You should sign up, do it. And he was a scientist he was a timpanist who was also a scientist who like pursued his career in science and then was like, but I'm really gonna regret it if I don't go after timpani, and then won a job at the Met Opera Orchestra. So he's an amazing guy. Bruce Arnold is my teacher, my guitar teacher. He's just amazing. I love Bruce for many reasons. First of all, he's an incredible player. He's really into sort of more third stream kind of. You don't go to Bruce to. I mean, he certainly can teach you bebop and sort of sounding traditional and blues and anything you want to. But he's really interested in atonal music and just really cool sounds
Yeah.
and structures of music. But he's also he's a Berklee grad. So for me, he's been very helpful because his story. He's older than me, but his story really mirrored. When I heard his story, it made so much sense to me. He went to Berklee, worked his ass off, but came out of there feeling like he had a lot of deficiencies as a player, and so he basically set about to fill those gaps, and in the meanwhile created a curriculum, and he did it. Like I too went to Berklee. I too came out of there feeling like I had a lot of deficiencies that really should have been, I don't know, whatever.
Mm.
I had wished they had been addressed. And when I found Bruce, it was like this. So that's why one of the reasons why I love him so much. And as I put in my link thing to you guys, hands down the most comprehensive and best system and most real world system for ear training out there.
Mm.
Um, I took every single ear training class that Berklee College of Music taught. Literally, there was not one I did not take, including rhythmic, harmonic, everything. Bruce's system just blows it out of the water,
Mm.
because it's based in reality. It's based in how you actually use your ears as a player.
Mm.
And I think I wrote kind of cheekily on my list, like, yesterday was the time to start working on this with Bruce's material. But I mean that seriously, and also like, do yourself a favor and dive into some of that stuff. And it's really fun. And he has it's not just like relative pitch. It's like from all angles. He has you
Mm.
play. He makes these incredible tracks where it's real music, and then he plays a note and you have to sing it. It's just amazing. I can't say enough about him.
Well, it's strange, isn't it? We have a member called Mordy Benhamu, and he markets himself as the Autistic Guitarist. And he's a hugely talented guy, and he does lots of YouTube videos and things like that. And he did a video late last year, and he was saying, look, you know, we practice the same with what we was talking about earlier on, you know, practicing the scales and playing things like that. And he said, how often do we actually listen to what we're actually playing?
Yeah.
It's true, isn't it?
It's so true.
You know, quite
so
often
true.
I'm just playing the scales and doing this. Oh, I just don't train your ear, do we?
Yeah.
I need to train my ear more.
Yeah, we all do. I mean, Bruce still does, and he's a master. You know, he's constantly working on it and constantly developing new ways of you know, putting his ear in weird situations and forcing himself to learn. You know, for those of us who don't have perfect pitch. This is for all of us who don't have perfect pitch.
I definitely don't.
I do not.
I definitely don't.
So he's my sort of main teacher, and I through the pandemic we just have a regular Sunday lesson. Yeah. I'm studying piano with a guy named Gerald Clayton, great, amazing jazz pianist, and a guy named Ben Cogan. I have two piano teachers right now. So yeah. I mean, there's other things, you know.
Well, it's a great list, and members will love it. I mean, as I said, I went through, and it's like I didn't know of these, so it's, you know, it's great. So yeah, thank you very much.
Of course.
Okay, well, look, coming towards the end now.
Oh, you know what? Can I ask you a question?
Of course,
I take a sip of my tea. What's the most interesting, cool, or like frustrating but in a good way, you know, that kind of like thing you're working on your instrument right now?
Working on a lot of things that I had a lesson with Nate Lopez, who I mentioned earlier on, and I have always been a musician that has played very sort of traditional with a pick, hands. I do finger pick as well. But what Nate does, and I had he very kindly gave me an online lesson.
Yeah.
Of those skills of playing the rhythmic parts, the melody parts, and the bass lines all at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's something that it sounds complete. You know, when you listen to a guitarist that's playing like that, it sounds complete.
It's so orchestral.
It's so orchestral. And that is something that I'm excitedly frustrated about.
Awesome. I love it. Excitedly frustrated. Let's coin that term. That's a great term. Cool. That's awesome.
But lots of other things as well. I can't wait to get us playing live again.
Yeah, of course. All of us. We're just dying.
Oh, I think
just dying for it.
I think when the pandemic, you know, we're in a better position. I think live music is going to be
explode.
It's going to be a savior for so many people.
It's going to explode. I mean, I just keep thinking, I'm hoping we're going to get back to the days where you can go out and get a regular gig, like every Friday night, play at the little pub down the street. You know, that's a hard thing to do in America, at least. That those days are sort of gone. But I think after the pandemic, you're going to be able to walk into any little restaurant and be like, do you want my band to come play here every Friday night? And they'll be like, hell yeah. I mean, I just think it's going to be an explosion of pent-up energy, of supply and demand.
I do.
Both.
I do.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I'm talking to online, you know, people that go to watch live bands, and they're buzzing with excitement to wait to get out there. And there's just something about live music, isn't there? The experience is phenomenal. I've seen all sorts of bands. I think probably the best gig I've ever seen, I went to see on the same bill, there was Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Fats Domino was poorly that night. So Jerry Lee Lewis played his set for him.
Oh,
and I was, how old would I have been? I'd have been about 23, something like that. So only like 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. This is a wee 10 years ago.
Yeah. No, I must have been about 22, 23.
Yeah.
And it was a phenomenal gig. Just awesome.
What do you remember about it? What sticks out in your mind? Like the energy, the communication with the audience, the pyrotechnics of the playing. What was it?
It was, I was sat with my friends and my feet wouldn't sit. Still. My feet were just bouncing like this.
There you go. Say no more.
And the other thing was, I looked round at the audience because it was the NEC in Birmingham. And I remember looking in the stadium, and there was people that grew up in the 50s in beautiful 50s outfits. The guys with the rockabilly outfits and the women with the beautiful dresses.
Yeah.
And they were jiving away in the audience. And and I remember saying to my friend Johnny, I said, look, we think we have fun. Look what our parents were doing. Look at that.
That is so awesome.
And then when Chuck Berry came on and did his set, people actually went onto the stage and danced, and they were jiving away.
Get out!
And it was like, wow. It was brilliant.
That is so awesome.
So that was probably my best.
What a great memory.
Yeah. And then I've seen all sorts of people, and I've seen, and on the other end of the scale, I've seen Motorhead.
Yeah.
You know, and that's completely the other end.
Right.
And again, that was just an awesome experience.
Totally. I mean, live music, man. Like, look, we just had an inauguration. There was poetry and there was song. How does a nation celebrate? With poetry and song. You know, like that tells you what the meaning of live music is, of song is. You
absolutely.
know, at our most important moments, there's song. I mean, human beings have been singing since time immemorial. You know, I think it was what we did before we had language.
Absolutely, it is, isn't it? You know, it brings in desperate moments as well. You know, people sing and it lifts spirits and all sorts of things. You know, so
totally
great things. Anyway, Kate,
we could go on and on, Steve. I think.
That is so true. We put aside 90 minutes, and I'm thinking, I could go and stick the kettle on.
Yeah, we can. I could stick my kettle on.
Get another cup of tea.
Let's do it again.
Please.
Let's do it again.
Please, I'd love to. You know, when you've got new albums out or new music, please come and tell us about them.
Sure.
I cannot thank you enough for coming to talk to us. And it's been an absolute honor and a privilege. So, and I know the members in the group will love seeing the interview.
I hope so. And if there's I just can't wait for them to dive into all the links and learn from all the people that I shared, and I just so want them to have all that knowledge that I have. And if there's any way I can do a question and answer, or if people want to you can always DM me on Instagram. That's a great way to get me, and ask me a question, and I'll do my best to answer it. Or if not, I'll point you to the person who can, or the place that you can get the answer from. But that's a great way to get to me.
Yeah.
So,
well, I wish you a lovely weekend.
Thank you. Yes, and you're already in your weekend, I think, aren't you? Or just about? It's an evening, right?
It's now. It's just 7:10 now.
Okay.
So
let's both have a lovely weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's my girlfriend works in the NHS, so she's working very, very hard at the moment.
Wow.
So the times when she comes home, it's really nice, and
she is a hero. She is a hero. Truly.
She certainly is.
I'm so worried about all those people, about the toll of all of this. I have many friends from college and who are doctors, emergency room doctors, and you know, it's just they're just doing so much work for all of us that, you know, we got to play some songs for them when we can.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Steve.
Nice gig. Right.
Yeah.
You have a good weekend, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.